Yo, what is going on, y'all? Welcome into Cardinalytics, an Arizona Cardinals podcast hosted by fans for the fans here on January 16th, 2025. First time I think we said, no, I said that in the live stream, but here on 2025 for our first official episode, here joined by my co host, a couple weeks removed, unfortunately, from the Arizona Cardinals season ending. We obviously didn't hope to it to end at this point, but it did. But we are here to recap it. Here are my guys, Jake, Shaw. I haven't caught up with you boys in a minute. How you boys been? How you guys living in the new year?
Doing good, brother. Happy to be here. Wrap this thing up, put a bow on it, and punt it into next season.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. We had some snow here in Atlanta. It was
Oh.
going crazy here for a little bit. It's funny because I was just in Chicago, like basically I guess for our last game last week of the season. It was snowing
Mhm.
up there, and I came back to Atlanta. It was even more snow down here. So it's going good
Mhm.
outside of football.
Yeah. No, we also had some snow down there in the hometown. Pretty snowy on the East Coast in general. So, um, frigid air temperatures. But hopefully our Cardinals, hopefully in this off season, can heat us up with some of these moves that we hope to be made. But before we get into the off season, I obviously got to recap the season that we just watched. Overall, Cardinals finished 8-9 on the season. Just about top 12-ish, I believe, in terms of total offensive ranking. Obviously, we know offensive rushing, I believe top five in the NFL. Passing, however, was believe bottom 20, closer to 25-ish overall. So kind of the similar narrative based off of last season's ending, where you were really good in the rush game, really poor in the pass game. A lot of us based that off of Kyler Murray not playing most of the games, but he played a full season. I do want to commend Kyler for that one. I think that's been a huge knock on him personally. But this offense, however it generates, itself, did produce Kyler to play another full season. His first time since I believe his second year in the NFL. So shout out to him. I'm glad he was keeping healthy. Go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say, I sorry to cut you off. I think this is his first time he's ever not missed any time at all.
Mhm. I remember the it was like a quick blip on the injury report, I believe, in week 2, and we all like, oh God, knee
Right.
injury. What are we doing here? Not again. But ever since then, he stayed upright. So
Dude, that's a very underrated point. I honestly didn't think about that at all. I will
mhm,
say some good and some bad. The good,
mhm,
let's go, bro. Like people said it was never gonna happen, that he was gonna stay healthy a whole season.
mhm,
And he definitely took some hits, like especially that Jets game, helmet went flying 10 yards.
mhm,
So that's a huge like that's a great sign, like in the right direction. That's the good. The bad is if you were to tell me Kyler will play a full season, not miss any time the injury, and will still have a losing record, I would call you crazy. So that's the bad.
definitely.
But obviously it's a team game, so I'm still gonna
Mhm,
say in that case the good outweighs the bad on the Kyler full season. So great point
yeah.
though. Corey. I did not even consider that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely something that you want to point out. Had multiple 1,000-yard players. You had James Conner going for 1,000 yards rushing, Trey McBride going for over 1,000 yard receiving. But overall, let's stay on the offense because I think we're kind of just going to give our biggest surprises slash disappointments. I think everybody's disappointment probably is going to be the same. But for variance, I kind of will switch mine up. But biggest surprises from this offense from this past season. Obviously, 8 wins generated. Kind of had a 4-win stretch there, but you kind of were up and down outside of that 4-win stretch. What is kind of like the biggest surprise or like kind of stamping point that you guys had from the offense this year? Shaw, go ahead. I mean, this offense was built on paper at least to be both explosive in the running pass game, and it was explosive only on one side. So for you, what was your biggest surprise? Going in or takeaway from this season, I should say.
I guess right off bat, I mean, we are just talking about injuries. Honestly, I was surprised James Conner stayed as healthy as he did for as long as he did.
Mhm,
He tried to come back in there and play that Rams game, but obviously he wasn't ready to play.
right.
Um, but I feel like when the offensive line was healthy, they played actually pretty good this year.
Mhm,
Um, but honestly, like in terms of like surprises from the offense, like I don't know, outside of like Connor staying healthy and like the offensive line, like kind of like playing all right up until Will Hernandez getting hurt. Um, I don't know. Like I feel like everything that I expected from the offense did not convey this season. Um, like obviously we all expected Trey McBride to have more than 2-3 touchdowns. Yeah, like I don't know what to say about that. And then we also all expected the passing game to be way more explosive than what it actually was. So that was a massive letdown. But as far as I guess as far as like all that's concerned, like I don't think there was anything else that I was surprised about when it came to the offense.
Jake, did you happen to have a surprise? Like I'm kind of closer on Shaw's side, but I did have one surprise. But did you have a main surprise that you saw from this season in terms of this offense and how it generated stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that Marvin Harrison just looked like a random, like average Joe, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like I was surprised by that. I was surprised by the offensive line being good and then randomly being terrible, like out of nowhere, bro. Like, because Sean, I know you said when Will went down, but bro, I feel like we were even still getting good offensive line play after that. It was just like, it was pretty much like when they brought back, I think it was Jonah Williams.
Jonah, yeah, when he came
it was
back.
like after they like brought him back, everything like fell apart, and it was like, I don't know, man, because you look at like certain games and like I want to call out like that Dolphins game, like Kyler got good protection, like in times where it did eventually break down, it gave him enough time, and he is like his vision and awareness was good enough that he was able to juke out Jalen Ramsey, shit like that. So I don't know what happened there, but dude, it got to the point where it was like watching the Cardinals from like the past 5 years, where Kyler, you just see him turtling, having to give up on the play, throw the ball away way too much, which he did get better at as the season kind of went on because he's always been a big like sack taker. So I feel like that was good at least. But yeah, man, I was surprised at the line being good and then being really bad. Equally surprised on both sides of that coin. Additionally, I thought Mike Wilson would do a little bit more. I feel bad because I feel like Kyler kind of goes back and forth with him. Like he'll randomly have a game where he'll get like 6-7 targets and then put up like 70, 80 yards. And you're like, damn, bro, this guy is a player, right? Like he can go out there and make splash plays. And then like next game, Kyler won't look his way. And like, I didn't dig too deep into it. Like could have been a matter of him just not getting separation, but I like Mike Wilson, bro. Like I like his attitude a lot more than Marv's. I like his energy a lot more. And then I'll still say, like, I was still surprised at how dominant Trey was because obviously last year, right? Like, he kind of came onto the scene last year, went for like 700 or 800 yards after not even really getting looks until like week 4 or 5 or 6 of last year. But you can always make the case, like, oh, he's young, fired up, like, like could just be like a I mean, he was at like a crazy pace last year. And then, so I will say, like, I expected him to do well, but I was surprised at how good he did this year. Like, did he have 1,100 yards? Like 1,140?
I think he had 1,100. Maybe,
bro,
yeah,
like,
I think he had 1,100.
That's crazy out of a tight end, bro. Like, obviously, that's not a hot take by any means, but like, dude, that guy is a stud. That was like Keim's best move. If we can, I don't want to stray too far, but if we can get like a speedster for next year that can go in and stretch the field and open guys like Marv and McBride up like underneath, watch out, bro. Like that 12th rank should go up to like top 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my surprises.
Well, they just signed Quez Watkins to a futures contract.
I saw that.
Deep threat. Hold on.
Yeah.
Got some speed now.
Stud, bro.
Also, no, and also I was just like scrolling through like the team stats, and like I guess one thing that surprised me too is, I mean, we only threw for 300 yards in one game. I mean, I guess technically 2, but the Rams game, Kyler got sacked for like 40 yards. So like if you look at the passing yards on the stat sheet, it's not 300 yards. So technically on the stat sheet, we only have one game where we threw over 300 yards, which is honestly insane with how we were talking about like this passing, like the weapons and stuff that we had. And a question that I wanted to pose for y'all too, like just like with the offense, like I think we're all surprised by like, Marv not necessarily being as up to speed as we expected him to be. But not just Marv, like do y'all feel like it was like the receivers that were like, kind of just ass this year? Because we were like near the bottom when it comes to like separation, like
Oh
in
yeah,
terms of our receivers.
they couldn't.
Or was
separate.
it more so, or was it more so Drew, which like also that was surprising to me that how incompetent he was when it came to like developing any type of passing attack.
I think it was a combination of both, bro. Like the receivers literally couldn't. I mean, there were statistics all over the place, like advanced stats, where they couldn't gain separation. But additionally, you have to know, like these are world class athletes. Like at the end of the day, so a lot of that does come down to scheme as well. And something to touch on too is like end of the season, bro. Last couple of games, we're running Marv like a couple of screen looks. We're giving him a couple shorty like 2 yard slants across the middle, bro. It's like, where the hell was this, dude, when we needed it? And like against the Vikings, dude, against the Seahawks in these pivotal games, where was this to just get the guy freed and move the chains? It was like anytime we were in like third and more than like 6 or 7, it was like, dude, we're probably not gonna get this. So where was that stuff, dude? Like the natural pick plays and stuff. Like he just can't seem to scheme that. And anytime he did try, it seemed like it got called. So I don't know, man. Petzing, apparently his Bears interview went horribly, which is not good news. But
the reason why I asked that is because like I've seen like Johnny and PHNX talking about like the Cardinals need to go all in on T. Higgins, which I'm not gonna lie, like last year, like I was on the train, like, yo, if T. Higgins becomes available, like we need to go get him. But obviously that was like before we drafted Marv and stuff like that. Free agency comes before the draft. But like I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm like, that's news to me that our receivers were just like that shitty that like we have to go all in on somebody like T. Y'all's thoughts on that?
Dude,
I'm not going.
Before you go.
No, I was going to say I'm not going all in. I think that what you saying ties to what I thought was a surprise was how the lack of chemistry Kyler had with all receivers outside of Trey McBride. Like you again, like Twitter, Instagram clips don't move me as much. They're exciting and that's fun to see. Like they used that the whole trip. That was good team bonding outside of getting work in. But like their abilities to not generate enough passing chemistry, like whether that be Marvin, whether that sometimes be Michael, whether that was even Dortch at times, like the multitude of receivers that struggled to have chemistry and or knowing where they were supposed to be at times versus where Kyler thought they would be versus what the route may have dictated. That was pretty porous to see. I just don't think like adding another receiver, like it's not like I know some people think Egbuka should be drafted at 16 for us to default if he gets there. And it's like, this offense doesn't deserve another receiver, in my opinion. We need defense so badly that it's like we don't deserve to have another receiver out there. But at the same time, like I think it's just a maturation of whatever they want to do on offense. They have to be able to use every single piece to do it. Like use Michael Wilson in the slot as well as you try to use Marvin Harrison. Because to his defense, like inside the last probably like 5 weeks of the season, they did put Marvin in the slot a lot. They did move him around a lot. They did try to use him in that faction a lot. It just wasn't enough because that's another surprise for me as I wear the Larry Fitzgerald shirt was Marvin's. Again, I'm not saying Marvin had to be Larry Fitz, but I'm saying like what we were built him to be, what he built himself to be, and what he was as a prospect was not what it was on the field at times. So whether that be separation, whether that be hands, whether that be, speed at times, like how sluggish you may look at times, like that to me was just so upsetting. So I really personally don't think that this offense needs another receiver. I think those guys just have to them, including Kyler, like have to have better chemistry with each other. And that's another like surprise for me was like Kyler like deferring so much to whatever the play call may have been and or whatever the read may have been on that play call. Because he mentioned it a lot. I'm putting the ball where it needs to go. This is where the ball is supposed to go, XYZ. It's like many times as we saw routes that like you think about the Vikings or maybe even the Rams or something like that, offenses where you think they're good at passing, stuff like that. There's multiple options on said play. It really did feel like the play was called, that play was set for one person. If you can't get it to that person, it becomes scramble mode at a certain point. And it's like where's the progression routes that we saw? To me personally, the only progression that we saw was anytime there'd be a rollout and you'd have Trey in the flat, you have Marvin running the over, and you have somebody going deep. Like, but that's only a certain handful of play calls that you're calling throughout the game/season. So it's just like me, like you said, try to kind of tie it in with you. Is your surprise is that Petsing's non-ability or whoever the pass game coordination is, whatever they had to do with it, their non-ability to get these receivers, more yardage, more targets, more opportunities. And that does also fall on the quarterback. But at the same time, it's how many times did we see guys running in the same spot, running the same similar routes? It was a million times where I saw Trey McBride stopping his route, the same spot that Elijah Higgins was going to stop his route. A million times. I mean, the game that we had after we got a chance to look at it from the broadcast/film review, you had fucking Marvin, Michael, James,
but they're all in the middle of the field, like
running into each other. Like, who was he supposed to throw to at a certain point? So I just think they're going to have to figure out ways, one, in order to beat man coverage. Because Kyler was a killer against zone because Trey McBride's a killer against zone. Trey McBride understands the soft spots. Trey McBride's going against linebackers in those areas. So, and Trey McBride has great route running, obviously. So Kyler was able to kill zone, but when it came to man, like the Lions game, the Commanders game, the Seahawks game, bunch of games where you're getting man and nobody can get open. And think about those 3 games. If all 3 games outside of the Commanders games were winnable, especially the first Seattle game and then the Lions game. So it's like you win those 2 games, you're in the playoffs. So I think they need a better plan for all coverages, just different type of route developments, more route trees for all players on the field, not just one player. And I think that'll go a long way for them. But I don't think they get a chance to get T. Higgins because, 1, I think they get outbid. 2, I don't think you need to go pick game hunting in that. Like I think there's big game hunting goals.
Position. Yeah, I don't think so either. That's why when I saw that, I was like, wow, what? I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, are we just running out of like things to talk about? Like,
dude, let me say this. If we were able to bring in T. Higgins and Max Crosby, like, bro, you can't tell me we're not in contention. Like,
I mean, that's super correct, but I'm just thinking about the ramifications of what they quote unquote said they want to make it, which is a long term winner. Like that's definitely flash in the pan worthy type moves, and that's kind of I'm basing everything off of what they say they want to do. The team is clearly built for past Kyler Murray. Like outside of how good he is and whatever the case may be, and it's my first time I feel like I've said something like that. It's not built for him anymore. It was built for him his first couple seasons with Cliff and stuff like that, but it's not built for him anymore. They're trying to build this to, if I put random Joe Blow at quarterback, he should be able to do enough for us to win games. Kyler Murray's supposed to move the needle for the team, and he wasn't able to do that down the stretch. But nobody was technically able to do that down the stretch, and that kind of leads into my disappointment from the season was their non-ability to have success on offense past the bye week. It was so much stress on getting to the bye, being good past the bye, continuing on past the bye, quote unquote, Monty Ossenford walking off. The season starts now. The season looked like it did not start. The season looked like it ended at the bye week for the Cardinals, and that was that was my biggest disappointment, especially on that side of the ball. Was you all didn't take advantage of the many opportunities that this defense, who we'll get into, was good enough to hold teams to a few points in the game, enough points for it where you just had to put the ball in the end zone a couple more times, whether that be red zone offense, whether that be penalties. I mean, 2 games completely, the Seahawks game and the Vikings game, destroyed with penalties. It's that stuff where it's like you understand maybe the Cardinals are one of the Cardinals, not maybe, they are factually one of the youngest teams in the NFL. But at the same time, like stuff like that shouldn't happen as consistently as it did in the last 8 games of the season. And I feel like that was a huge, huge detriment onto where we are in this football season because of the lackluster ability for this offense to just score maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns more down the end of the stretch of the season. And that would have been able to say, all right, the Cardinals are moving past whatever the case may be. And again, this is their plan, the 3-year plan, 4-year, however long it is. They're still on track for it because they did double their win total. So we do have to salute them for that. But just a disappointment.
More wins last year than the last 2 seasons combined. That's like for something.
Exactly. So it's like, and then you held your own in the division for the most part. You were 3-3 in total. Outside of you swept the San Francisco 49ers when they had one good game when they were playing backups the second one, but you did destroy the Rams. You were very close in 2 games. One with the Rams at the end of the season, one with Seattle, the first game matchup against them. And I still don't like that me personally, like I don't like that playing a same team twice in a span of 3 weeks. I think
Oh
that's
no, dude! What
I
a
think
joke.
that's
Yeah.
really tough change. Like I think the NFL needs to fix that. But at the
I
same
feel
time,
I was gonna
go
say
ahead.
real quick. I feel like that really played to their advantage too, because it was like
Mhm.
had they like did what they did, and then we got like 5 weeks in between. It's like totally different slate.
Mhm.
Whereas it was basically a back to back, dude, and it was like
Yeah, and you
it was
smack
just a
Minnesota right in the middle of that. A Minnesota trip to Minnesota right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
That technically on paper for this season, based off of that, was a very very tough stretch, and the Cardinals faltered on it. So like I said, that's my biggest disappointment. Like I don't know what y'all's may be outside. I mean, we already know the main biggest disappointment is Marvin Harrison Jr. That's tenfold, whatever the case may be. Because again, Kyler, it's is he a disappointment? Obviously, the way he was disappointing down the stretch, but everybody was disappointing down the stretch. But I think Marvin, in the totality of the season, he was the most disappointing for the entire
I think
season.
I think when you take into account expectations, yeah,
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 he was.
absolutely.
I would
But I kind of agree with you in terms of like, I mean, this team just faltered. Like they were what 6-4, got to
Yeah,
the bye week, and then after that they were 2 and what 5.
yeah.
So
yeah
Or
like
2-5. Yep.
yeah, two and
Mhm.
2-5 with games that like they had no business in being close in. Like the Vikings game had no business being close.
Mhm.
The first Seahawks game, I guess. I mean, it was a rainy game, so I can understand like, that being close. But the Panthers game, you had no business like being in a competitive game with the Panthers on the road with your season on the line.
Mhm.
And that, yeah, I would probably say that was probably the biggest disappointment to me too. Like just like how they perform with the season on the line, and specifically like Kyler just had some drives where it's just like, bro, like what are you out there doing? Like and that's been my whole thing kind of with him all season is like you kind of mentioned, like this team isn't necessarily built for like him anymore. It's built like, hey, like you need to elevate us. Like just don't make mistakes, and
Mhm.
then just every now and then sprinkle in some magic. And like I feel like he has to realize that because we saw like at the end of the season, he went back into like, okay, this is on me. Like I gotta do everything. I gotta make a play. I gotta do this. Like when he's not just taking what's given to him. And I feel like that's a maturity thing that like,
Mhm.
I feel like we should see that from him like at this point. But man, I tell you what, like next year, like how you talked about like we won 8 games this year. You look back at like Cliff's tenure, like start off 5 games, won 8 games, should have made the playoffs, right? We're in a similar situation, won 8 games. Probably you could say that we should have made the playoffs. And next year we ended up making the playoffs.
Mhm.
Next year, if we're not coming out the gate like basically looking like we're going to be a playoff team, like it's going to be
Mhm.
a long season for not just Kyler Murray, because we know Kyler Murray is kind of getting on the hot seat, but also JG too. Like, because
Mhm.
it's unacceptable for your team to go from, like we said, 6-4 all the way to 8, or to just win 2 games over the last what
seven.
7 games of the season. So
Mhm.
when arguably that was the easiest stretch of your schedule too. Like you
Yep.
had the Patriots, the Panthers, the Rams, and the Seahawks twice, and the Niners, who are they've been shit this year. So like,
Mhm.
I don't know. That was very disappointing for sure.
Yeah, I would say my biggest disappointment was, I mean, yeah, to touch on that too. I think Kyler against Seattle this year had 4 interceptions and 2 pick sixes, which like that's not a winning stat, obviously. So that was awful. But even still, after all that, it was like, okay, from here on out, every game is must win, and if we do win out, we can still make the postseason.
Yeah.
And obviously, 3 of us were at the game. They thumped the Patriots, do exactly what we needed them to do. They got up for a hypothetically big game, right? Then after that, we're like, all right, bro, like on to Carolina. It's a 3-win team at the time. Like, go take care of business, keep winning, and we got a chance to make the playoffs, right? Like, run the table. Because at that point, we were, what were we, 7-6, I believe?
7-7.
Okay, so then it's like, all right, you win the last 3, you get to 10-7, and that would have done it. So it's like, okay, we got to beat Carolina, then we got to go beat the Rams again, which we made look super easy the last time, and then we got to go to San Fran and beat up on a clearly bad, injured, like lifeless team. Going to Carolina, bro, and it's another quote unquote big game, and they didn't get up for it. And that's my biggest frustration with this team is like the culture that we always talk about. And like we sung the praises of JG and Monty this year. But in these big games, bro, it's like, bro, it was great that we swept San Fran with an asterisk, in my opinion. But getting swept by Seattle is just like, dude, they didn't even make it, bro. Like they showed their true colors when all was said and done. I mean, 10 wins still, like they kind of got screwed with that, but like they didn't make it. They swept you. And after that first game, like losing the fashion that we did, to get beat the way we did at home was that basically like told you all you needed to know about this year's team. Like they needed to get up for a big game and they weren't able to. And then given a second chance at life, bro, they beat the Patriots. They get the week to prepare for Carolina. They go to Carolina and miraculously off a Chad Ryland 58-yard time expiring field goal, bro, he drills it. Would have been good from 70. And I'm thinking, all right, we've won the game. Like we were down like 24-3 or something crazy. It's like we're gonna win this game, of like for sure. You go to OT, your defense gets a stop, and the offense, bro, goes like backwards. It's like, and you guys know, dude, I'm the biggest Kyler guy out there, but it's like, bro, like you can't make something happen. Like I think we got one first down on that drive. It like if that, it's just like, dude, your defense got the stop. We hit this big field goal. Got to move the chains, bro. Like in that situation, like you guys have been saying, dude, just run the offense like just like an average man. Just run the offense. You don't need to do anything crazy. But it's like in those situations, it's where I question Kyler's head because I'm like, dude, you couldn't figure out a way to like draw pass interference or like no one could get open, dude. Like it's like you watch like the Rams and other teams, and it's like, dude, they're just popping off like 15-yard plays so easily. Like, and like, dude, we couldn't get one of those in a must-win situation where we still had a chance to make a run at the postseason. We had a chance, and if you play it out, Kyler does what he needs to do. He goes down the field. We kick a field goal, win that game. You needed to get us to within like 50 yards, dude, and I would have been confident Chad was going to hit it. So let's say he does it. He gets us down the field. We kick the field goal. Boom. Now we're 8-7. We go into the Rams in a game, dude, that was also very winnable. Like
it was one. It was
dude,
one.
It came down. It came down, and I was actually with some friends at the time, and we were already eliminated, so I was just kind of boycotting. But I see, dude, on Instagram after the fact that Kyler zings one impatiently off Trey McBride's face. And it's like, that game was very winnable. So let's play it out. We win that game. Boom. Now we're 9-7. And then we go to San Fran and kick the shit out of them because it's a team that's down bad. No morale whatsoever. And boom, you're 10-7 postseason. And like, obviously you're playing the what if game, but bro, these aren't even crazy hypotheticals. You do your job. You do your job against Carolina. Then you go into the Rams and you steal one in a game that you could have won. It was right there. Like you went in there and you were toe to toe with them, and Kyler threw for 300+ yards. That game was very good. And it's still like these little mistakes, dude, where it's like Kyler's got a little bit of the Cliff gene where he gets a little bit nervous, bro. Like that pass off McBride's face, like, dude, you had time to like wait a little bit longer. You didn't have to throw it 1,000 miles an hour off the dude's face. Like he was open too, bro. He could have made a catch. So it's just little things like that. Carolina not being able to advance the ball in a must-win situation. Your season's on the line, and you can't get a first down against a 3-win team. Like that's bad, bro. That's on JG, Petzing, and Kyler. And I mean that's where the ship really derailed. But it's like,
I will say too, like how you kind of like talk about like JG, Petzing. Honestly, Flowers and Nick Rallis in the defense, because like that was our biggest like what if this season, and we're not even talking about them because they absolutely balled out. Right. So shout out to them. But
shout out Garrett Williams, bro.
Yeah, future all pro cornerback Garrett Williams. We ain't get it this year, but we'll get it eventually. But as far as coaching though, that's another thing that was like a kind of a disappointment too, because like we talk about like coaching down the stretch too. Like, I mean, the Carolina game, it was a ton of penalties which not all of them were penalties. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of them were like the rest were just on some BS. But like the coaching too in those situations, like we think back to our times with like Cliff and stuff like that. And like, we're like, okay, well, Cliff, like the management of the game, the coaching, the play calls, like all this stuff was kind of bad. Well, like we kind of expected things to be different with this regime. And this is the first time for this regime that it's like, okay, like we're actually expecting something. Because first year, like there's no expectations. You started Josh Dobbs for 10 games. There's no expectations. But now as we saw, like, you know, what this group looked like with games that matter, and it wasn't good. It looked similar to what we saw from before. So like that was kind of disappointing because we expected it to be a little bit different, and it was basically the exact same down the stretch.
I totally agree, bro. It was just a matter, and I never had confidence in us getting up for the big games. I really didn't. The writing seemed to be on the wall, bro. Like got thumped by Green Bay, got thumped by Washington. Like the writing just seemed to be on the wall, bro.
Yeah, I maybe I think like the aspect of that, like, did I think they couldn't get up for big games? I don't know if I could say that. I just think they just didn't capitalize enough in said games. Like you mentioned, Jay, the opportunities were there tenfold for in a bunch of those games, and they just didn't like Baron Browning. If Baron Browning is in great, no, I'll say this. If Paris Johnson doesn't hold, Michael Wilson catches that touchdown in Seattle, let's see where that game ends up going with both teams obviously struggling to score. But you score first, and then you mentioned Kyler with the pick six. He doesn't throw that. Who knows where the game is at that point? Minnesota, Baron Browning is 2 feet to the left. He stops the pass from Justin Jefferson because the guy Sam Darnold was getting barreled under pressure at that point. You win that game instantly. You get one stop on that possession. Outside of, and then on top of that, you mentioned the possession before where your offense got conservative and went for a field goal instead of going for it.
Trey McBride could have ran into the end zone too.
Exactly. It's
bro, was that the one too, Corey, against Minnesota where we had them in like 4th and 12 and they converted to Jefferson?
I think. Well, I don't know if it was 4th and 12. It might have been like 4th.
I think it might be like 4th and 8.
Yeah, it was like 4th and a little long.
Sure, bro.
Yeah, it was definitely 4th down. They brought a pretty decent pressure package, but I just think the personnel was used wrong because I thought Browning probably should have been the one to rush, and then you would have had a better chance with a Mack in coverage or even a Zaven in coverage at that point. Zaven did drop into coverage, but he dropped kind of in the middle, and then Barron kind of just flankered out to the outside just too far enough where Jefferson caught a curl right on his backside, and they got a first down. So, like I said, in the possession beforehand where offensively you're 4th and 2 at the goal line, like at that point, just try something. I mean, I really don't care because you forced them to go 98-something yards and you still have a chance to win the game. But
and if you stop them, they might take the 3. So that's another thing that, like, you know, it's a learning. I feel like that's a learning
multiple
moment for like the coaches
chances.
And stuff, but
yeah. And then I was gonna say the Vikings game at that. And we talked about Carolina game where Jake, you mentioned you laid out the lay of the law right there. The Rams game. There's a lot of games at the end of this stretch where a team, again, I mentioned one of the second youngest teams in the league, they didn't know how to capitalize in these moments. But the frustrating part is that the person supposed to be leading all of that outside of JG and, you know, whoever their coaches are, is the quarterback position who has been in said situations like that in his career. So, Jake, you mentioned like the franticness. Like I'm with you on that. Like I think that was going to be a point where I mentioned on the offseason part was that I would love to see Kyler Murray's progression be the first thing you do is change the process of offseason preparation. I get that your father played quarterback. I get that you all have gotten to this point doing what you all do in your structure. Use an outside voice to take some type of learning. Just any type of outside voice. It doesn't have to be this macho man QB guru guy trying to change your career around. It just has to be a different outside voice that is willing to help you out. I mentioned I got Larry on my shirt. You know Larry and Kurt, their connection together. Kurt is adamant on wanting to help out when it comes to the Cardinals in general.
I was gonna say Kurt, bro. I swear to God.
He's adamant on Kurt and just how his love for the Cardinals is still there. His passion for the Cardinals is there, and he mentions about Kyler Murray. He talks about him all the time. Like if you use any type of outside voice to just take another step of playing quarterback, a lot of people mention. I think I know I forgot where found this or heard this said, but like another small quarterback who's had a great career passing from the pocket and not being a mobile runner, and Drew Brees, like use what he thinks about.
Drew Brees.
And I was gonna say, use whatever he thinks
Yeah.
about anticipation, preparation. How does he read the defense? How does he feel the defense? Where the leverage goes and balls that he throws? Like just small stuff to go past your process of working on yourself. And again, Kyler Murray, you've done yourself a career justice on getting to this point, but you have to elevate yourself. And I mean, JG mentions great quotes that Kyler seems to give to team meetings, like he's talking about time is fleeting. You know, you only have so much time. This, that. That sounds great, right? It sounds amazing, but I need to see it in situations that we're in. And again,
I totally agree, bro. Kyler, he needs to get better. Like he's got to get a better head, because you watch guys like Lamar Jackson, bro, and like the funniest thing to me is, dude, when Lamar was first starting out, people were always clowning on his intelligence and stuff. And dude, that guy has got a hell of a brain, dude. Like he is a very sophisticated quarterback. There's a reason why he's about to be a 3-time MVP. He is leagues better than Kyler, bro. Like, it's crazy.
But at the same point, you can tell like a lot of people talk about his offensive coordinator and helping him develop the ascension in his game, because we knew he was a great runner with Greg Roman. They sprinkled in a lot of stuff. They used multi-tight end stuff. They had great run games. It just wouldn't be put together in the pass game fully. And we mentioned, I mean, Lamar into almost year 3, year 4 was struggling in terms of dealing with pressure, right? Dealing with all-out blitzes, zero blitzes, not knowing where to go with the ball. Tom Munkin comes in. They seem to be one of the best passing offenses with him. Now you have Derrick Henry. Now you got Lamar. Like they do a lot of good stuff together, right?
And they still don't have a crazy alpha receiver. Like Zay Flowers is good. Bateman is
we need a Zay Flowers type, bro. We need a guy like that, dude, because he is so shifty, so quick. Like, I feel like he's an underrated guy, bro. Like, I think Zay Flowers, like, we need a guy like that, bro. It's like Greg Dortch is like a Dollar Tree Zay Flowers. Like, you know what I mean?
What they're saying number 2, which is crazy.
Like it's just, I don't know, bro. We also too, in my opinion, got to clean up the wide receiver room a little bit. Like, I wouldn't mind drafting a guy in like maybe, I know you guys aren't gonna like this, but 2nd or 3rd round, like a guy.
That's way too high.
Bro, I know.
I don't think they deserve it.
A receiver,
dude. We gotta get.
You think they deserve it? You think they deserve to get another receiver?
Oh, we need a guy with a little speed, bro. We gotta kick out Zach.
We got Quez, man. We got Quez,
dude. But Quez, dude's got.
He fried us. He fried us.
He's got 1,200 yards in his entire career. He was drafted in 2020.
You know who he scored his first touchdown against?
Us. On a screen play because nobody could tackle him. He fried us. We could use him. We could use him.
Bro, this Quez walking signing is giving me Ted Ginn, bro.
Robbie Chosen Anderson.
Oh my god, dude. Robbie Chosen, dude. That guy.
But like it's just overall the encompassing like factor of offense is that this team needs to capitalize on the moments that it has, because Monty, in fairness, has given this side of the ball a ton of pieces to work with, right? And if you have a ton of pieces to work with, another year in the system, another connection. Shaw, you mentioned it. Year 3 was a pop year for Cliff. Year 3 needs to be a pop year in its offense as well.
They gotta be,
dude. I'm expecting the same type of result. We went 8-8 with Cliff, and then the next year we won 11 games. I think we win. Yeah. I think we win 10-12 next year.
And next year is definitely a little bit more favorable, because you play AFC South, NFC South, obviously your division, but then you play a 3rd place schedule. And again, it's not the easiest 3rd place schedule when it comes to NFC teams, because you got the Cowboys who are going to be revitalized. You got the Packers again, who busted your ass, but at the same time, and then
I'm not scared of them.
And then unluckily enough, you get not unluckily enough, because who knows when.
You said we got the Cowboys on our schedule next year.
That's a victory, right?
That's a dub. That's our friend Miles would say that's a guaranteed dub.
What's it called? So and then obviously, like I said, unluckily you have to play the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. So we'll see how that game turns out based on the 3rd place schedule. But the offense, it's given itself enough opportunities to be successful, and they just got to capitalize next year, because I don't see a lot of changes coming on that side of the ball outside of I should say, the addition that I would love us to make, which we'll get into in the offseason. But real quick, seeing some comments. My bad, I missed these, but appreciate you all coming through. Dana R. Dana, you left a crazy comment, super chat on the PHNX Cardinals thing with last night with Michael Wilson. It had me geeking because she's talking
What'd she
about
say?
like she basically said like she basically said like Michael. She asked Michael Wilson was the routes based off of I forgot what she said. She's like was the routes based off of technique or was like you all just not getting open enough? Basically, he was like he was stumped. They had no idea how to answer that question at all. So keep giving the hard questions. I love that. But she said one of the longest days of my life dealing with someone else's government paperwork, saving me Cardinals talk.
I gotta go back and
Hopefully
watch
do
that
with
to
you.
see his response.
Yeah, I got to see that too.
Hopefully we can do that for you tonight. Jackie, what's going on? She came to you say crazy how you went from cool and calm to scared and frantic. I think that goes to your point. Like,
yeah.
What's up, Jackie?
Who knows? Was it the pressure of the games? Was it the team? Feel like they broke down. It's sad to see, but we got to move forward on. She said, but yes, that can only take you so far, or that can only take you so far, and there's always a level of bias. Oh, he's talking about college dad. Yeah, exactly. I love seeing his father around the vlogs. By the way, we haven't had a vlog in over 2 months. I think that's funny.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
He was worried about the wrong thing.
We can't do the vlogs only in victory, bro. Just again, like
wait,
I
was
don't
the
mind
last
them.
vlog? Was the last vlog the
Jets
vlog
game.
you were on, Jake?
Yeah.
The last vlog was the Jets
Hey,
game.
you closed this out, man. You closed this out,
dude. That's crazy. Dude, that's so bold though, bro. Like, I mean, that was even more motivation for us to pick up some wins. And I was disappointed, bro. Like I said, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a bigger Kyler fan, but I mean, it's at the point going into year 7. Like, this is it, bro. It's pretty much, dare I say, make playoffs, or we'll be going after whoever's up and coming, bro. It's
1,000%.
Because you can't use the knee anymore, and you can't dude. Trey McBride is like arguably, he's not even arguably, he's guaranteed top 3 tight end in the league right now. So it's like in a league where tight ends are huge. So it's like he's got James Conner. Like, the defense, dude, way outperformed expectations. Like, I was even saying before the season, dude, that if we had, and this was just the expectation for the offense, I was telling my cousin, if we had a defense that was even top, like, 20, bro, I was like, we're definitely making playoffs. And the defense ended up being like top 15 statistically. And in
points. They gave up yardage.
They gave up a lot of yards. But we still outperformed expectations and still came through with a losing record. And yeah, to go back to Jackie's comment too about Kyler being frantic, like, what the hell is that, bro? It's become so frustrating, and the gotta have it drives. And dude, it seems as though the Cardinals still to this day, we have too many drives that last like 30 seconds, dude. It's like incomplete first pass, run it on second down for a yard, boom, 3rd and 9. It's like it happens way too often, bro. And then there's never any confidence that we're gonna move the sticks after that. And then, God forbid, bro, your punter has to be perfect. And I don't know. I mean, Gillikin obviously got hurt down the stretch, which was crazy, bro, because I think that was against Seattle on what should have been like a roughing the punter, and they didn't even call it, and it sent him to IR. He was out for the season, bro. He didn't even get a 5-yard. It was crazy, bro. Like, totally blew him up, and it was just like, damn, bro. Like, but I will say another thing too, and like this could be total conspiracy bullshit, but I'm a firm believer in the NFL, like, wanting to like boost their product. It's the reason I believe that we didn't get the call against the Bills in week 1 on a pass interference on the 2-yard line that would have set us up to win the game.
Obvious pass interference.
Bro, obvious, right? Like, of course they're going to want the Bills to win that game. And then a couple weeks later, or the week after, or no, 2 weeks after against the Lions, Mac Wilson clearly pick 6. They give the call to the Lions, even though the Lions were clearly trying to get the playoff. They said that the clock ran out. That negates the touchdown from us, and then they do that hook and ladder touchdown to Gibbs, and that's a 14-point swing, and we end up losing that game by 7. And it's like, dude, we need to, as an organization, like we do almost need to go make another splash and bring in like a Max Crosby type, someone that the media loves to glaze, dude, because Marv was, dude, I'm serious, bro.
I agree. I see what you're saying.
Bro, Marv was supposed to be that guy, and he just absolutely wasn't, bro. He was just an absolute tortoise. Like,
and I'll be honest, like I said, I don't mean to cut you off in that notion. Like, I don't believe that he'll ever be that type of player that's marketable for the NFL.
I
and
don't.
that
I
and
don't know
that's
Marv.
either,
yeah.
bro.
I mean, yeah, but
Outside of legacy, like he's never
yeah,
going to be a charismatic figure on the football field, whether that be
it,
emotes or shit
yeah,
like
and
that. Like
that
you know
was
what I
one
mean.
thing. That was one thing that I talked about. I remember us talking about that, and I was like, when you look at Neighbors and you look at Marv, like, yeah, Marv is gonna put butts in the seat, but he's not gonna be out there dancing after he scores a touchdown. And like I get what you mean when you say like
Yeah,
marketable. It's like if he's not producing, his name is only gonna carry him so far.
right.
Dude, it's
In
like
terms of because like right now, like I don't even care to have his jersey.
no.
Like
Not me either.
I
Not
really
anymore.
wanted his jersey to
Not
start off the
anymore.
season, but like I still can't get his jersey now. I can't get an official one.
I'd
I don't
rather
care.
I'd rather
I don't
Garrett
care
Williams,
anymore.
bro. Like straight up.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna be forced to get one because for some reason, my girlfriend loves his. I'm not gonna get into what she loves, but at the same time, I will be forced to get a woman's version of that jersey, so that'll be where some of my fanatics points go to.
Of
But
Marv.
yeah, but overall, like I'm with you 1,000%. Like it's just I just don't feel like there's gonna be ever like Marvin Harrison Jr. is generating this many clicks in order to get Jake to what you said, like the NFL quote unquote working games for the Cardinals in order to
no,
win.
bro. Dude, I'm dead serious in that, bro. Like we don't have a single player on our roster that is like a big marketable figure for the
Mhm.
NFL. Like it was
Mhm.
supposed to be Marv, and it just wasn't. And if he doesn't have like 1,200 plus yards and like 10 touchdowns next year, it's not going to happen. And
Mhm.
Kyler like had a time where he was in the spotlight, but then he got hurt. We always lost. He had that bad playoff game against LA. So now
Yep.
he's kind of on the outs
Yep.
as far as the marketability. Dude, we need like I'm serious, bro. Like I do believe we need to go make a splash and either get like I'm not saying him specifically, but like a T. Higgins, a Max Crosby, some guy that the NFL universally glazes to make
Mhm.
us a relevant team. Seriously, bro.
Universally glazes is crazy.
Dude, if you look at all the teams that are in it right now, bro, the Chiefs, you don't even like everyone, right? They're all marketable. The Texans, dude, they love Stroud. The NFL loves Nico Collins, and rightfully
Stingley.
so. Dude,
Yeah.
Stingley, Will Anderson. Now look at the Commanders, bro. They were supposed to have like 6 wins, and here they are. Dude, the NFL is obsessed with Jaden Daniels, the best rookie season ever. They're saying, like, they love that. Scary Terry, bro, like super marketable guy.
Mhm.
Dude, look at the Rams, dude. It speaks for itself. LA team, dude. Puka Nakua, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, the new defense, Jared Verse diving around. Dude, you can go.
I will say though, for it to be somebody like that in Arizona, they have to be like they
Malik
have
Neighbors.
to be no. Not, I mean, not even just Malik Neighbors. Like they have to be somebody who's like really, really good because you can take a good player and put him in Arizona like a T. Higgins, but like it's just the market that we are. Like you talk about the Commanders, that's a team that's in the NFC East. Like any team in the NFC East, if they have a player that's remotely good, they're gonna get put up on a higher pedestal than like somebody that's maybe like way better than them. So
Mhm.
like obviously when we got JJ Watt, right? Like that was a big deal because JJ Watt is like one of the best defensive players of all time, like in the NFL. So like, if it's somebody like that, then I could see that happening. But somebody like Max Crosby, like okay, Myles Garrett, for example. If it's
Yeah,
Myles Garrett, all right. But Max Crosby, T. Higgins, I don't know if they're necessarily gonna be still that marketable guy because they're just gonna be another guy in Arizona.
Mhm.
Like
yeah.
it is what it is with
I know.
Arizona.
We
Yeah.
need to hit on someone in the draft, bro. That
Yeah,
just
I'm about to say that. Yeah, you're gonna have to
absolutely
draft somebody. You gotta
like
draft a demon. At the end of the day, somebody's gonna have to be some type of rookie demon in order for you to, or a young player demon. Again, like we have I would say, 2 players on the side of the ball each who should have young Pro Bowl nods or possible All Pro nods next year, and Garrett from the slot, and then and Trey McBride at tight end. So
dude.
you
But
have 2 pillars, but you need straight cornerstones for sure. And
we need a demon, bro. We don't have anyone that's like crazy outspoken or anything, bro. Like you look back at
I don't
historical.
think we'll ever get one. I'll be
Dude,
honest
like,
with you.
look back at historical Cardinals teams, bro. Like Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, bro. Like those are the
You
glory.
saying you saying you want Tyreek Hill? Is that what I heard?
Dude, no, because dude,
No,
dude,
I would love
Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill,
Hill.
dude, that would just blow up everything. That would be a terrible culture, dude. Culture would be out the window. Like everything they've been preaching about, like team over I, would be out the window. This guy straight up said in his last game press conference, bro, like yeah, I'm done here. I'm walking out the door. Like, dude, he's
Yeah,
one.
no, that probably blew up the chances. If he would have
Bro.
just played his full game and then be like, all right, I don't want to resign here quietly, then I
Right.
would have been with you. I agree with you though. Going
Right.
out publicly and just doing
Like,
shit like that.
if
probably
we
killed
if
his
we were to
chance.
bring him in, bro, like, dude, don't get me wrong, it would be incredible, but like, it would just undermine everything. And like I said, he's one of the best to ever lace him up, but it's another aging guy. It's like, dude, we don't want another guy coming to the desert, taking a ton of cap space, just getting older, bro, and then retiring. Hopkins too, bro. Like, I still can't forgive that guy for forcing his way out. Like,
Yeah, I can't either because honestly, bro, I think if Hopkins was still in this team, like the offense would be a lot better. Me personally,
way better, bro, dude, because
like
Hopkins had the ability, bro. Like Marv low key has similar metrics to Hopkins. I mean, Marv's taller, but Hopkins, bro, was just so slippery, and he was so good at what is that? He was so good at
they don't agree with you,
bro. I guess not. He was so good, bro, at just making contested catches and just like concocting his body in crazy ways, dude, to make catches, stretch for first downs, dude. Like the freaking like spin move master, bro. Like just rolling off guys, diving for first downs. And Marv, dude, just doesn't have that ability to, like, he didn't make a single catch this year. Actually one. I think it was against the Rams on the sideline. It was actually like a good catch with a defender like covering him well.
yeah.
Outside of that, bro, this guy didn't make one like hands catch where I was like, stud. Like, it didn't happen.
I
bro.
feel like he has the ability. I definitely don't think that he like showed it or it flashed as much as like we expected it. But honestly, like I look at somebody like Hopkins and I'm like, okay, Marv, like I don't necessarily like watching you play your first year in the NFL. And I'm gonna pull up one of Dana's comments. Even though his numbers weren't bad, like she said, I just don't think that he has like NFL like game changing speed to
No.
be like
He's a
somebody
slug.
who's consistently like separating. So like I look at somebody like D Hop where it's like if we can utilize you like that, which I think you have the ability to make those crazy catches outside of your like crazy outside the catch radius type of plays. I think he has that ability, and I feel like if he could get to that, then that would be like best case scenario for him.
I mean, dude, like Kyler and Marv in the offseason should be like wearing full pads, bro, like just trying to make circus catches because we desperately need that X factor out of Marv, and it just wasn't there this year. Dude, Kyler gave him plenty of chances, bro. Balls that were there that Marv, dude, against the Patriots even, bro, we saw it like 4 times. Contested catches, he went 0 for 4. I mean, it was against Christian Gonzalez, but like, dude, you got to like at least go like 25%. Like you can't be this like generational prospect, dude, and never make a catch where it's like, holy shit, this guy's dude. Whereas like guys like Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey, even, dude, Lad McConkey, what the hell is that, dude?
Lad made a crazy play in that wild card game.
Crazy,
that
bro.
play was insane.
What, the Larry play where he split the Red Sea, like part of the Red Sea, like right up the middle. House it, dude, got like
contested
an
catch.
Yard, gotta have it. And then the PAT got blocked and Cameron Dicker just hit it down.
that was bad, bro. I don't even know what the hell that was.
Dude, but seriously, back to my point real quick. The Lions, dude. The NFL loves Goff. They love Dan Campbell. They love Jahmyr Gibbs. They love Amon-Ra St. Brown. They love Sam Laporta, bro. They love the rookies on the defense and the young players, the Brian Branches. All the teams, dude, that are left in it. The Ravens, bro. Lamar, loved by the NFL. Derrick Henry, King Henry, like, dude, the defenders on the Ravens, like, dude, every one of the teams that are still in it has multiple stars. Seriously, every single team does. It's, yeah, I mean, A, like it's attributed to them just being good, but B, bro, the NFL wants the best product. They want to see the stars shine in when the lights are the brightest. And we gotta go get someone. We gotta draft a demon, or we gotta go pay for a demon. You have to.
I agree with you. Like somebody's gonna have to develop into a superstar. Like, and that's only going to come with production, in my opinion. Like, production rules out the day. Production and overall, not even just production, because we saw a Triple Crown player and a 45 touchdown passer on one team not make the playoffs, right? And the biggest thing is because they didn't win enough games, right? You got to win games.
True.
Like winning games, put your faces on posters and headlines, and it makes your product, I should say, more marketable at times. Because to me, like Buda Baker is a highly marketable player. We lose. So nobody likes the little small 5'8" guy that's flying around like a missile on a team that's losing versus the small 5'8", 5'10" guy that's flying around like a missile on the Lions and who you just mentioned, Brian Branch, who's winning. So it's a catch-22. I feel like you just got to go win games. Dana, she did mention she mentioned that the comment. Here we go. When it came to what this is what she asked Michael Wilson when it caught up. I was like, God damn. She said she asked about releases and if the scheme was limiting his release package because she mentioned how Michael Wilson was an amazing, had amazing one-on-ones at the Senior Bowl, and his release packages there were great. But on film, it just didn't look like that. He said essentially that because of timing and pass rush, that more complex footwork goes out the window, and you just go. Sense. And it's honestly, just that's
great question, great answer. That's very insightful.
Mm-hmm. And she was talking about this is probably talking about Marvin. She said they need someone in his face and slapping in his hands in those practices too. And I agree. Like
they need someone in practice just bullying and bro, like just let's get that testosterone up a bit. Like, come on, let's get fired up a little bit.
And then when you think about it, 9 times out of 10, he probably was going against Sean Murphy-Bunting in practice. So
they're probably like, dude, he's an all-star in practice.
So he's probably looking like a Pro Bowler in practice every time. But
let me ask y'all this: do y'all feel some type of way about Zach Allen and Byron Murphy being all pro, like us kind of letting them go?
Bro. Pull the receipts, dude. I was bitching about that.
Yeah. Byron Murphy, not as much personally, because I think you have good young corners on your football team. But Zach Allen, 1,000%. An interior pass rusher, that's exactly what this team was missing. Like that's what this team has been missing since JJ Watt was healthy in 21. Like
Allen was a Pro Bowler this year, right?
Yeah, he was Pro Bowl and he was second team All Pro. He was second team All Pro.
Dude,
he did get snubbed.
How crazy is that? Yeah. He was literally called, bro, before the new regime came in. He was literally baby JJ Watt, dude, and that's literally what he turned into, bro.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
He looked exactly like JJ Watt with the number, with the face mask, with the arm thing that he got on his arm. Like
and he gained weight too, bro. How big would it have been to have had him on this team right now, bro? A homegrown product, just a beast, dude. Like that was good for Denver, man, because they got a stud in him.
But how many times do we say that though? How many times has this franchise and just our existence alone, like we're all mostly young, like franchise alone, like how many times have we said like, oh yeah, he's really good. He was really good on our team, but we had to let him go because he doesn't like losing, and or we just didn't want to pay him, and he goes to another team and looks like a Superman, like
another one, dude, Hassan Reddick. Like, never could figure him out. Goes to another team. I will say though, dude, they got Isaiah Simmons right. That bum, dude, is still a bum.
Yeah. Who knows what his career
coming out of the
his career is gonna end up being a career. Who knows the career?
Dana says Zach Allen. Goodbye.
Hey, I will say though. Do not slander LJ, bro. He was low key an unsung hero this year.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, like
4 sacks or something.
Yeah, it's like go on.
They got Cam Thomas right too.
Yeah.
I heard he hasn't been doing nothing.
Yeah, he went to the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. Now watch now. No, don't talk your mouth now, because watch, he's gonna come out on Sunday.
Game-winning
or whenever they play, 2 sacks, maybe a game-winning strip sack. It's gonna be like, oh shit, he was on the Cardinals.
There's Cam Thomas. He was on our team. Yeah,
that makes sense. SDSU product.
But like, speaking of,
I will say this real quick. I know we're gonna get into the draft, but bro, I would do unspeakable things to get the rabid man out of Penn State, dude, Abdul Carter. Dude, I would love to get that man on our team. I think he is an absolute blue chip stud, dude. I think he is going to be like Micah Parsons-esque, bro. Like, I feel like he's just an absolute game wrecker.
Something about those number 11s at Penn State, I think they call it the sticks. I think that's what their little thing is. That dude's easily a man child, 1,000%.
Yeah, no, he's crazy.
He was a guy that we were talking about getting before the season started. Him and Mason Graham, those guys are now based on our player out of our reach and attainable
Oh,
by other
Mason
teams.
Graham
But
might still be, maybe, huh?
I don't see him falling
I mean,
past
interior
6 or
Dude, but
defensive
7.
linemen, they don't go that
know-
high. I mean, Jalen Carter is special.
I
And
think,
like,
but I just think like you
Dude, but
go,
you know
he's
Monty
gonna
Austin
test. He's
more,
gonna
bro.
test well.
Dude,
Yeah,
there's a good chance we move up into the top 10. I'm telling you, bro. You know Monty
I
Austin.
think it's a better chance you move down.
Oh my god, dude.
I can't envision. They don't value. I mean, they value the picks obviously, but like when there's gonna be
If we move down, dude, I'm gonna flip out.
now I'll say this: you don't move down if there's not at least 2 quarterbacks taken in, I would like in the first 10 picks, because again, like you got to think somebody's going one of the 2, Ward or Shador, and likely Shador could possibly even go 6 to the Raiders, right? That's what you at least think on paper as of this point, and then Ward could obviously go at some point, right? But it's like
I think he's gonna go early.
if only one of those guys go like maybe first, and then the next couple picks is defense. Ted McMillan from what's it called, from Arizona, and you got Abdul Carter that could go. Then you got just a full, because this draft it's strong. It's not strong at the quarterback position. It's way stronger at the D line. It's way stronger at interior rushers. Like that's where this draft has.
Yeah.
Which is why we need to move up, bro. We need to move up in that case.
But that's what a lot of other teams up top above us are like. Atlanta's going to snipe us for somebody we want, because especially if they don't move, Atlanta has the exact same need we do in edge rusher. They're going to take somebody that we want. Like, for example, a lot of people are talking about Jalen Walker. I mean, there's like I said,
Yeah,
there's like five edge rushers.
I like this dude Pierce too, that Dana's talking about, from Tennessee. He didn't have a lot of sacks this year, but he's pretty productive.
Was he the big dude, like a monster?
James Pierce 2 years ago was
James Pierce
2 years ago was a crazy specimen. At like him, I think him and your boy from LSU Perkins, but when he was still an edge rusher, those 2 dudes were man child supposed to be coming out. But I think they like that dude scoring out of Texas A&M. I think he kind of fits the
who? Score.
Yeah, I think he fits the
dude,
the big strong defensive end type build that they're gonna want, because I mean we saw it. I think a lot of people are going to kind of go off the model of the Rams, where it's like Braden Fisk is more of he's big, but he's finesse D tackle, in and out of movement and stuff like that. And Jared Verse and Bauer Young are just 270-pound bull rushers that are coming off the edge. Like, I think the Cardinals want to do something like that. Obviously, Darius Robinson is a little bit more finessey in terms of his play, could be his play style, but he's still a really strong guy. And again, a lot of people talk about him, how he was in training camp, him and BJ. I know Michael Wilson mentioned this, how him and BJ were killing dudes in training camp, and then we didn't see that until one player popped back out in like week 12. So it's like you missed a lot of promise from a lot of people that were built up to be hopeful guys for your defense. So as much as people are saying, go out get an edge rusher and stuff like that, we could just skip straight to free agency, forget the defense. Defense did their thing. Like off season wise, like, who are y'all like hoping this team? Jay, you kind of mentioned it a couple of times, but like, who is really one player that you hope this team like throws a real big bag at? Me personally, I need Trey Smith, offensive guard, Kansas City Chiefs. I think outside of anyone that you will go pay big for. As much as Will Hernandez played well, and as much as he might be much cheaper, I need almost a damn near surefire thing. And that's what Trey Smith is. But I think Trey Smith is still only about 25, 26 years old. He's an upcoming star guard in the NFL, great pass protector. And again, as we said time and time again, think about when this team was 7-0, the interior offensive line was stud worthy. You had Rodney Hudson. I forget who was playing left and right of him, to be honest, but because Rodney Hudson was so good and so smart at that center position, it looked really good. You have a somewhat of a pillar.
Was it a Hump at the time?
How was that tackle? I really do not remember who the guards were when we were having our heyday. It might have been Max Garcia, to be honest.
You talking about wasn't that like Watford and them back then, like back in the day? Justin Pugh.
It might that's who it might have been. It might have been Pugh in 2021. But I think Yoda for hope is a solid starting center in this league. And I think you can supplement, like a lot of people talk about John Gaines, how good he could possibly be, but like give me you re-sign Evan Brown on maybe a $2-3 million deal, give him a little bit of a pay raise because he did play well on a 1-year deal, because him and Paris have pretty good connection. They did play well. but go out and get a stud guard because that like internally that creates whole like I should say mainly interior pressure pocket, which again is the biggest thing for our quarterback in our situation because of what it was built. Like interior pressure is the biggest thing that you need to hold back on. So I would say throw it back at Trey Smith. Like obviously we're not the guys that we're drafting, we're not drafting high enough to be starters right away. So they need development time. But I think John Gaines could possibly be ready, but you have to go out and compete. You have to go win a job. You can't just say that you want to win a job or say that you have this personnel. But me personally, like that's my one big like if they make a move for an edge rusher as up the talks of Max Crosby or they go sign Josh Sweat. I know a lot of people say Milton Williams is one of their big additions that they want to see. But me personally, that's the only offensive investment that I want to see mainly done in this offseason is putting a stud guy, already named NFL guy, on the offensive line. And that would be Trey Smith because if Kansas City lets him walk, he's going to have his pickings on where he wants to go. A lot of people need guard play, but no more important than us in our quarterback situation and how we want to play guard play is necessary. So Trey Smith is my one. Who would y'all have as your main hopeful? Maybe if it's dream free agent, who do you want them to give the most money to for the Cardinals to go sign for this next year?
I'll be short.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, go ahead, Jake.
Max Crosby or Hassan Reddick. One of those two guys. I need a stud on the defense to go and attack the passer. Something that's been plaguing us for years. Gotta have one of them. I do think that we're gonna throw a bag at Crosby, and hopefully he's healthy.
Well, we'd have to trade for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a trade guy?
He's a trade. I think he signed an extension maybe a year ago.
Oh,
yeah, I think we'd have to trade.
Yeah, so you're having to trade capital for him. And I know a lot of people talked about possible, and let me put this out there.
I still want it, bro.
Yeah,
want it.
I was gonna say let me put this out there because for some reason I got attacked by Jalen Thompson's brother on Twitter. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
But, bro, dude,
you didn't see that? I'll bring that. I'll share the screen when I have a chance. But yes, I was attacked by Jalen Thompson's brother saying I was too critical of him and we don't understand what's really going on. And all I told him was that your brother's just not playing as good as he used to be. Like, regardless of whatever you feel, how my tweets as a fan come out, he has not played as well as he used to play before.
I gotta see this tweet now, bro. I need to see
I got you. I'm digging it up because he definitely was like.
Where you can't tell that man that his brother ain't playing good, bro. You can't tell him that, bro.
well, guess what? I told that to him straight to his face. I said, "Your bro not playing as good as he is," and that's just facts. Like I'm not calling that man on his name, not saying anything. I'm saying as a fan,
he just like, hey man, he's just not playing how he used to play.
Yeah, exactly. But I was attacked by that. But again, a lot of people are considering to stay on point. A lot of people are considering him to be a possible cut candidate, and I agree. Like I think it would be solid to move him possibly in a deal for Max Crosby. The Raiders definitely need safety play. And if you could add, a first round pick and maybe a 2026 second or 2026 third with Jalen Thompson, who would be an expiring contract for them. I know NFL don't really work like that, but it would be an expiring contract for them. So they get draft assets, a possible player that could, change their franchise around. I mean, shit, go after it. I mean, go do it. But that's just me. But let me see if I can pull this up. You all can go and keep going and say what you're feeling.
I was going to say Crosby signed his extension in 2022. They made a modification this year, but it's still the contract is still it remained the same. It goes to 2026. But yeah, you guys are right. Obviously, he would have to be traded for, but I'm still about it. But dude, I'm honestly more. My attention has been taken to the Jalen Thompson beef, bro. I feel like
it was like because it was just so random because it was like out of nowhere. He was just like, you don't know what you're talking about. This that. I was like, yeah, I'm just being real. And then he was like, I'm his bro. This that. I was like, all right. What you want me to do about that? Like, I don't know.
That doesn't change anything.
That doesn't change my thought process at all. He still is not playing as good as he has. Like, regardless of how you feel. And he's all like, it's not everything that you can see. This playing hurt. I was like, okay, whatever, bro. Like at the end of the day, it is what it is. Let me see.
As far as me though,
yeah, go ahead,
free agents, I haven't really taken a look at who the top free agents are. I know T. Higgins, obviously, but outside of him, I don't really know who's in in the free agency. I'm looking at a list right now. I see they got Josh Sweat up here. I feel like him or Reddick would be cool. I just feel like if we're gonna spend money someplace, like I feel like we should spend money, like big money. I feel like we should spend money on the defense.
Okay.
And I just desperately think that we need to be faster on the defensive line. Like the guys that we have out there rushing the passer right now are like they're just slow. Like I don't know how else to explain it. They're just slow and they suck at tackling. So like if you're gonna spend money on somebody, I know Josh Sweat is a lean guy. He's a lean edge rusher. So he probably has some speed to him. So that's probably somebody I would go after, him or Hassan Reddick.
DJ Reed, bro. Too bad we don't need the cornerback. That could be a great one.
Yeah, I see like Drake Greenlaw up here. I doubt they're gonna let him go. I see
Diggs is gonna be a free agent. Yeah, dude, Hassan Reddick. I'm telling you.
It's
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Milton Williams. I mean,
he's
I
having
know
a great year this year.
He's having a great year because of him, or is it because of who's around him?
You could say he's having a great year because Jalen Carter is demanding double and triple teams at times, and that'll be my biggest worry that if they do sign him. But in terms of pass rush win rate, he's having a decent year, which means he's seeing singles. He's seeing single teams most of the time, double teams. But I would say a lot of our D tackles saw single teams and couldn't get off block. So if you just give me one single team,
if he can just do that, then
if he can just win off single teams, and it's like okay, well, and then possibly create a double team for somebody else to rush free. Like I think that would be I just think they need interior pass rush, no matter what it looks like or who it could be. They need a guy that can go in there. And LJ Collier had a couple sacks, but you need a guy that can go win one-on-one from the snap, not after a play gets shut down a little bit because your defensive coverage. You need somebody that can win one-on-one off the snap. And I don't personally know if there's one singular guy in this free agency that kind of commands that. Like obviously Christian Wilkins last year, you say that would have been fit the mold perfectly, right? But I don't know if it's one guy this specific season that kind of fits that. But I mean, go add any type of defensive line because you're getting plus guys back with BJ, who damn near BJ's going to be a rookie almost damn near going into next year. I mean, he played a couple games year one, but his body in terms of what it is in NFL experience is going to be a rookie almost to a certain extent. Darius, same thing, going to be a rookie to a certain extent. And from all things that was told to us on social media and reviews and stuff like that, those two guys were killing our offense throughout the training camp. So I would love to see them kill other teams' offenses in real live games that result in wins and stuff like that. So that's just me personally.
I see Chase Young too. I wouldn't mind Chase Young.
I wouldn't mind Chase Young. I would not mind Chase Young. Yeah. I found a tweet. There we go.
Okay.
I found a tweet.
Okay. Jake is invested on this.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. So I think this December 28th, 2024. I don't know what game this was. I'm trying to remember. Maybe that was what game was December 28th, 2024? It had to be the Rams game because I tweeted it.
Yeah, that was the Rams game.
Why can't this defense run any 4-man stunts? ? And I was just like watching them, like everybody just rushing straight. Somebody follows up Bigsters. Says, "You're not gonna give credit to Jalen Thompson or Jalen on that stuff. Only when he does bad, huh?" I said, "Man, get the fuck out of here." I said, "Man, get the fuck out of here." LMAO, dude has been bad.
Wait. How did he know what play you was talking about though?
Yeah.
So this is just I guess it's just a random Jalen Thompson play that was made because
I mean, yeah, but like, what does that have to do with? Okay, exactly. All right, whatever.
So he wanted to spot me out to find it. So this is why I'm like, this is like premeditated, right? Obviously. So this is how I know the players read my stuff. Thank you, Jalen Thompson. You read my stuff. I appreciate it. He said you go out there and do better, bum. LMAO. I said, come on, man. That's your reply. I bet not see no criticism of an athlete from you on your TL. I also followed up from his first response and said, picks off a dead. Remember, because this is the play where he picked off a dead play that was already going to be, ruled for a penalty on us, and he also injured somebody on the same play. I think he injured Max Melton. So I was like, he said, "What? Continue to stay on that couch and watch him," which is what I obviously do, brother. Like that's exactly the point of this entire life that I live is to watch athletes play football. So we go into the quotes that come out there. So the quotes after my "Come on, man," she replied, "Ben, I see a single criticism of an athlete from ETL. Nah, I don't get on here bashing players. That's you, my guy." LOL. I guess that's only me. It's pathetic. I'm Jalen Thompson, brother. Sometimes watch what you say because you don't know what's really going on. So, like I said, continue to sit down on that couch and watch him. So again,
Well, tell us what's going on.
do
bro.
you feel me? I'm in my head like, you tell me what's going on there because he was playing good last year. He's playing bad this year. So what's
Right,
really
like
going
what's
on?
up? Like
And
he
again,
got something going. Like
you talking about telling me to watch what I say. I didn't even say anything about Jalen Thompson on that play. So like what are you talking about? Watch what I say. Like, I don't think I had said anything about him in the entire game. And so I said, I respectfully, I was like, I'm not gonna argue with this dude. I don't. When he said his brother, I'm like, I'm not gonna get into it. It's your brother. You're emotional.
Yeah.
You have an emotional standpoint on this, way past than what I got. So I said, I respect your brother and can also say he's not playing how he used to. I ain't bashing him as a person and don't take for granted what he did for this team. So don't start. Never called that man out of his name, not once, which is I did not call him out of his name. I never did. He said, yeah, but the way you get on here and bash him, it ain't cool. Y'all fans is wishful thinking. So y'all watch my tweets. So Jalen Thompson watches my tweets and feels a way about how I tweet.
That's great,
bro.
I'm just
that is crazy.
I'm like, who is this dude? I never
He just said he had time today with you, Corey. He was like, yeah, I got time, bro.
That's why I was like, and then I replied, I said, I can only take it for face value. You his bro, you get more info than I can. But film and numbers say it just hasn't been there this year, and that's all I can take it as. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Look, he's tweeting you. He's not even responding. He's quote tweeting you.
I say, so you bash him? Actually, his numbers are quite well, which is not true, especially him getting hurt this season. But hey, God bless you. I didn't know he was. I mean, we knew he was hurt for a couple games, but I didn't know that it affected his play going forward. That's not what the coaches said, and so I kind of ended it right there. But I was just like, yeah, so I've had a run in with Jalen Thompson and his family.
Crazy, bro.
Jalen Thompson, maybe send me a jersey. Send me a jersey. I won't say anything about anything else. But,
nah, dude, I can say I did meet Jalen Thompson. After
no, he clearly doesn't know what a stunt is because like, why did he just go into talking about Jalen Thompson? Oh, so you're not gonna talk about the play he just made? You're just gonna bash? What? Like,
hey. I'm glad you enjoyed the games out there, Bigsters. Hope you've enjoyed your time at Cardinals games. Because I'll be honest, I don't know how long they're gonna last. Could be done. Could have been the last game you saw from Jalen Thompson.
Good guy, but not worth. If we let Byron Murphy and Zach Allen go,
well, it's not worth it when you have a player. Yeah, it's not worth it when you have a player behind him that's more promising and possibly could be better than him. And what they want to do. Look at this. Dana mentioned it. JT was playing single high a lot more this year. Rabbit plays single high free way better than Jalen Thompson does at this point. That's the point. Like, if you're gonna give me a player that plays better than said player, I would like to see the replacement. That's why,
especially when he's on a rookie deal, bro.
And he probably was hurt because how many times did I say on my Twitter, play Rabbit? I want to see Rabbit. Put Rabbit in the game. Play the young players. Like,
no, he was playing hurt. He was definitely playing hurt a lot of times, and like he was his best when he was playing in the slot. But now we got Garrett, and like that's dead. Like you're not better than Garrett in the slot. So if you can't play like you're talking about single high, or like you're not that good at that either, or better than Rabbit, then it's like you're getting 18 mil. You got to go.
Bro, there's no way he comes back. Like I said, I met him. He's a great guy, but
or however much he's getting. I don't know how much he's getting. I don't know if it's 18
anymore.
I could see him coming back, but I could also see it be a training camp cut. Like regardless of whatever it is, like if Rabbit comes out next training camp and looks like a demon, like you mentioned, Jake, you have no choice because Garrett's not coming out the field, Buddha's not coming out the field, he's not playing outside corner. You have the choice. Simple as that. And these are good problems because if Jalen Thompson comes into next year healthy, plays balls out, then it's like, okay, well, now you're worth your money. But at a certain point, like I'm not here to question people's money and whatever they get because
12 million.
He was given this contract by people that aren't above him. So that also plays into the factor of will he be let go? Like they walked into the Jalen Thompson investment. So that's factual evidence.
Yeah, he's getting 12. He's getting 12 million. Has no more. Well, I guess he does have guaranteed money. They could save like 6 or 7 mil if they cut him.
Dude, I was looking through this top 50 free agents list, and at number 39, Baron Browning says Denver Broncos traded him to the Cardinals ahead of the deadline. A team in desperate need of pass rush help. logjam of good edge defenders in Denver, blah, blah, blah. Browning's 14.2% pressure rate, ranked 24th in the 2022-2023 season. Converted from off-ball linebacker to a full-time edge rusher in 22. Injuries are the only thing keeping him from being a consistent problem off the edge. Top free agent comparison, Shaq Barrett, 2019. Numbers are very close, bro. This past year, Browning had a 13.9% win rate, pass rush win rate. True pass set, pass rush grade, 76.4 pass. And then his just straight up pass rush grade was 77.7. Dude, I feel like he is definitely someone I want to see.
Yeah, no, we definitely got to re-sign him.
Dude, he was really starting to hit his stride. You can get him relatively cheap for the production that you're going to get. And then you pair that with a fully healthy, full off season with what's his face? I don't know why I can't think of his name, dude. Out of Mizzou, the new guy,
Darius
Robinson. So like him getting a full off season, being healthy, and then obviously the long awaited. Can't think of anyone right now, bro. Our
BJ.
guy, I was gonna say, our guy from LSU, BJ Ojulari. So,
and the thing with him though is that he might not be available until he might be on PUP to start the season, because I mean he got hurt at the end of training camp if I'm not mistaken. So
dude, that would be
he probably starts the season on PUP, which but at the same time, right, with an addition of a whoever you want, Max Crosby, and or they do draft the edge or something like that in this draft, like that is a great boost to have a month into the season, right? Because you add, if you say you bring back Baron Browning, you have you add a demon, whether that be a known name or a go up and draft, go up and trade for a guy,
Jalen Walker,
exactly. Get you one of those edges in the draft. Then you're talking about, okay, you got a nice little mix here with certain guys, and you still will have money to spend if even with a trade, like with a trade with Max Crosby, he eats up your cap number, right? But at the same time, he doesn't affect your the signings that you can make for future references in terms of the cap. So, like, I could see them adding at least 4 or 5 pieces to that front seven this offseason, whether that be with a mix of draft and free agency. And if it's a stud, it's a stud. If it's not, then it has to be, a plethora of guys, which they clearly like to do. They like the rotational asset of it, but they just need these rotational assets to become 6, 7, 8 sack guys. If you can get 4 or 5 guys with 6, 7, 8 sacks, then you're talking about some good stuff being developed on your football team and getting the offense off the field more, which is exactly what they did in Philadelphia. Like, Fletcher Cox was amazing, but he was also old in the year that Jonathan Gannon kind of had his success with that. That was mostly spearheaded by now I can't think of his name, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat. Those guys, Javon Hargrave, those guys spearheaded that 50+ sacks in the season. And so you're going to have to get a good, strong amount of that coming forward to you in this offseason. And that's kind of where overall, we're at with this process, is that this defense needs pieces. Like, you can't neglect it again. Like, I don't think that I didn't feel like they neglected the pass rushers, but I just think that once BJ got hurt, you needed to do something else. They didn't get a chance to do that because it happened so late. But at the same time, a lot of these guys, Zaven didn't turn to a multi-sack guy. But if I looked at it correctly, based off the edges, he was a top 3 edge in run defense, like in terms of his grade. Like, so he's really good in first and second down. You need to be able to bring in just a straight pass rush on third down. Like, I think that's for his contract is 1,000% worth it for Zaven, because he can also drop into coverage as well. So that to me is being that versatile is worth that money, right? But you need a straight specialist. Like, remember 2015?
Yeah, you need somebody who they're gonna get to the quarterback.
Exactly. 2015, it was 1,000%. Like, Marcus Golden would play on first and second down because he was young, spry, strong, and then he brought in Dwight Freeney to close the deal on the pass rush set. Like, it's really just that simple in terms of doing that. And I would feel like it would be a disservice, obviously, to your coach and your football team by Monty Ossenfort and Dave Sears and whoever's in charge of talent acquisition of not adding defensive line pieces to this football team. And Kaiser is another player that could be gone. Obviously, he had his not goodbye post, but it's this could be my last time in Arizona type of thing. So you're going to be looking for a Mike Green Dot linebacker. So if he's not coming back, you're going to need a Mike Green Dot, and that could end up being a rookie. It was a mock off-season video I saw from this one guy, which I think if anybody is a Cardinals fan should watch, because He's a Jets fan. He said he was a Jets fan. The video only had about 2,500 views, but he knew our team in and out like a drum. Like anything he was explaining, I could have 1,000% agree with when it came to the struggles and the advantages of the football team this season. And he had us signing guys like Nick Bolton. Like he had us get signing guys like Khalil Mack if he becomes available and he doesn't retire. Like that's 2 veteran additions. One, Nick Bolton, who's a sideline to sideline linebacker who plays the run well, but is also better in coverage than Kazir was. And that's going to be a lot what they want to do. They want to do the simulated pressures, drop little linebackers into coverage, and Nick Bolton is really good at that. But then Khalil Mack, the veteran edge that doesn't have to play every down, but can still play the run. And then you think about it in his body build, like he's a big, thick defensive end, like that can play the run, but also can get home to the quarterback. I mean, we saw it firsthand. The Chargers didn't have Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack was wrecking the game against us. Like literally every time he went up against Paris and or beat him, he was dominating those dudes. So like,
too bad Calais Campbell isn't a few years younger because would love to have that dude back.
Oh, I thought that Cardinals used to have that guy. Oh wow,
imagine that.
That would have been a great player to have. Who knows? But yeah, like it's like I said, it's a disservice to not add pieces to this front seven. I think that should be the main cog in free agency. And obviously, like I said, the one addition I would love to see offensively made in free agency is just
Trey Smith.
Like I've been pounding the table since I found out he was a free agent. We all wanted Robert Hunt last year. We all wanted Robert Hunt. I think he went there. I forgot the guy that Jonah Jackson went to the Rams. A lot of people wanted Jonah Jackson. Like at the end of the day, Trey Smith is better than both those dudes. So you lucked up into it, and this is the free agency period. And if he walks in Kansas City, which he could, because they're always seemingly able to replace players because of the greatness of seemingly Andy Reid and whatever they do there, go add a proven piece at guard and see what this offensive line can be. Because as good as this offensive line was, it didn't feel like, especially in the run game, it didn't feel like they were movers in the run game in the second half of the season. It seemed like a lot of lines, a lot of stuff was like at the line of scrimmage wasn't just a flat point, and either James Conner was able to break a tackle, get yards, or he maybe was able to slip through a hole once or twice. But you need consistent movers in the run game on offense if this is how this offense is going to be. Losing Will Hernandez didn't help that, but it's just at the same time, like you're going to need that in both run and pass sets because that's going to be pivotal for your quarterback to take advantage of this season for him, which is the most important season for him and probably his entire career outside of ever, to be honest, in my opinion. Like year 3, like nobody really expected anything from us in that third year because of our 8-8, because people didn't think because Cliff did the fall off and Kyler Murray was just an okay player. He wasn't spectacular. He was just okay. But year 3, he was an MVP candidate halfway through the season, easily MVP candidate, top 3, undisputed. So it's like, you're going to need that again this year. Whatever it looks like, you're going to need that. And maybe this offense doesn't generate those type of MVP numbers, but winning football games clearly puts you in some type of MVP talk, like as a quarterback. And I don't really care for the awards. I care for wins. So if that comes with it, that comes with it. But you need to be able to generate stuff to win football games. And the offense was supposed to spearhead that this year. It didn't. But if your offense can be complementary with a defense that can also be complementary enough throughout the season, there's no reason this team should not win 10, 11, 12 games next year. And it's off the strength of me knowing the schedule. Like, even if you split with the division, say you get 3 losses there, outside of division, there's no team that you play that's like, that team is really, really that much better than you. Like, there's not a single team. Like, NFC South games outside like Carolina, I'm not talking about.
No team in the NFC South is like that much better than
no
us.
team in the NFC South will be that much better than us. No team in the AFC South will be that much better than us. The Texans are pretty good, but they're not. We played them last year with a flawed roster and probably should have won that game. Like at the end of the day, like you have 8 games right there alone in your season of 17 that could be, you could find yourself winning 6 to 7 of them. You slip a game against the Cowboys here, you slip a game against the Bengals there, then you're talking about 13 wins at that point right there. Like that's the main play.
Yeah, I feel like for JG and for Kyler, like
everybody,
you have to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Like you have to make the playoffs.
Dude, I gotta say too, I'd like to see a linebacker have a Darrell Washington 2012 type of season next year. Bro, this guy, 134 total tackles, 9 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery.
Right, he was cracked. I was like, if only he didn't have whatever. I forgot what was
It
his
was some
issue.
off the field
I was
stuff,
like,
huh?
it's off the field stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if only, like, why is this my team? I can't picture it.
Crazy, bro. Dude, I forgot about that menace.
So like, but yeah. So overall, this offseason should be fun. I put out on Twitter a quote tweet over our post for the pod with a gif of Monty. It's pivotal that he proves that he's a guy. Like again, a lot of people don't talk about GMs being guys, but you need to be a guy. Your counterparts in this division, John Lynch is a proven guy in the NFL. Les Snead, clearly a proven guy in the NFL. Outside of coaching, I mean, he's making acquisitions for players, young players that are making plays for his football team this year. John Schneider's been doing it for forever in Seattle. And, you talk about coaching, it's like outside of this year, this was the first time we weren't facing coach. We were the only team that had coaching carousels in the division. Like everybody else was a pretty steadfast division or all had steadfast coaching for since 2017, in my opinion, and even earlier with some of these teams. So you need to be able to you prove that you can win some division games. You need to beat Seattle next year. That's a God-given fact. Like I don't care who they roll out next year. You need to beat them because they talk like they're this dominating football team when they're not. Regardless of however they feel, they're not that good of a great of a football team. So that's another team. That's another obstacle you need to overcome. But just like Ashad said, like it's pivotal for everyone to prove there are guys in the NFL and create. If you want to create said culture of consistent winner, you got to start somewhere, right? The starting point was 2 years ago when you struggled to win a couple games, but you got rid of old players on bad contracts. You added young players with great mindsets and stuff like that. Some of those young players took a step into this year. Talking about Trey, talking about obviously he wasn't drafted, but Trey, Garrett Williams, more guys that I can't think of. Paris Johnson Jr. But those are high picks, right? Those are great picks. I mean, even Dante Stills that for a 6th rounder. And even Xavier Thomas last year, like everybody that they've added, right? They all speak the same language, they all talk the same way, but it needs to be produced on the football field. And again, they don't make the playoffs, barring how that is. Obviously, it'd be a big step on how that is. Like you could be talking about possibly looking at quarterback change in 26. But you don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
that's not something. That's not something that we want to talk about. We don't build our fan base off of Kyler, but at the same time, we like consistency. We like Kyler. We think Kyler's a good quarterback. We think he's good enough to propel a team forward. But said team has to be good enough, and clearly, in his sense, the said team has to be good enough for him as well to keep him upright and do their job as well.
And we know not everybody's gonna be Lamar, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and like elevate a team, but like
there's no reason Kyler shouldn't be Dak Prescott. There's no 1,000%.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like you got guys like Russ that made the playoffs, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Justin Herbert, and it's like Kyler could easily he should be that. You know what I'm saying? Like he should easily be that. And once you get to the playoffs, like anything can go down. But honestly, like I desperately need a playoff win next year because I'm getting tired, so tired of people like Sam Darnold. He has one more playoff win than Kyler Murray. Daniel Jones, he has one more win.
He does?
Not Sam Darnold, but
Daniel Jones does.
Daniel
does. Oh yeah, Daniels.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. Yeah,
and screw buddy, bro.
Jaden Daniels. He has one more. I'm like,
I'm not your boy. No.
I'm tired.
Screw buddy.
I'm just tired of hearing that. So like, we got to get to the playoffs next year, and we got to win a game. Period.
Yeah, I'm with you. We all want success. We all want wins and stuff like that. We just want our team. And again, like I remember seeing something to close it out with y'all until we probably recap maybe after the Super Bowl right before maybe the draft stuff brings up, free agency brings up. But internally, I didn't put. I said one thing about it online, but internally, I absolutely hated the fact that we hosted the Rams for that game. Outside of the human nature factor, like, and being a good Samaritan, it's very, very ass that we had to sit there and host them in this game. And like Jake mentioned, put their jerseys in our team shop, put the Rams house thing on our red zone right behind me right here. I was disgusted at seeing all of that logo on the field. Like, and then you go in the comments and you see fans from the other teams. The Cardinals aren't irrelevant. It's not a rivalry. Who cares? This, that. Like, first of all, yes, we haven't been to playoffs more than you all have. Congratulations. I hate that for myself as well. But back 10 years ago, when we were fans of this team, we would have thought that we were going to be consistently in the playoffs with Bruce Arians and what they had building up and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, this team is building a lot of stuff to not be irrelevant, but you have to take advantage of the opportunities, and that's how you get better in terms of all your stuff. So we'll see what goes forward. Got a couple of comments before we head out. Jackie says, seeing other teams fans happy at playoff games and the atmosphere makes me so jealous. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, it's absolutely disgusting, and I just hate to see it. Kyler Murray needs a booster seat when he drives. Jake, is this true? Does he need a booster seat when he drives? You were right there by the driver window.
Dude, just look at this guy's name, bro. I'm not even going to engage in this.
Yo, I'm gonna put this one on me. I'm gonna just stop sending out the link to my friends because they're just gonna come in here and troll. Like, that's all they're gonna do.
Appreciate you stopping through, my guy. Dana mentioned, she said, who are the speed receivers in free agency other than T. Higgins?
She don't know, do she? Quez.
Oh,
Quez Watkins, baby.
He's no longer a free agent. He's
bro. I think the only other receiver I saw that's hitting free agency is Keenan Allen, who's like a fossil. So I don't.
Jalen Waddle didn't. No, Jalen Waddle didn't sign. For some reason I thought Jalen Waddle was about to be a free agent, but I think he signed.
Chris Godwin is, but
Chris Godwin. I wouldn't mind Chris Godwin.
No, I know, but he's coming off the leg. Like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, that's facts. I would not mind that. That's a true slot receiver. You really don't have to do anything else with that. That's a zone beating, man beating slot receiver. I would love to see that. She said 9 years ago today we beat the Packers. Shit was magical. Yeah, great story with that.
That's why you got the shirt on, man. Show off the shirt again. There you go.
Show that shirt off right there. TikTok shop. If we never see you again, I appreciate you for the shirt.
I can't believe that was 9 years ago, bro. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, the greatest, that was one of the greatest Cardinal memories I ever had, because I remember sitting in my friend's house. I got one fan that's an Eagles fan next to me. I don't think they were in the playoffs at the time. I had a Ravens fan next to me. I don't think they were in the playoffs at the time. And the Ravens fan is just on my case. Like, y'all suck, this, that. Packers about to beat y'all. Y'all won all these games for nothing. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And we go up, take the lead in that fourth quarter. I'm like, oh, yes, here we go. This is exactly what we need. And then Aaron Rodgers does the bullshit he did at the end of the game. I'm just like, oh, my God, this can't be real. And I'm nervous as hell. And my reaction after Larry Fitzgerald absolutely went zonkers in that final overtime possession. Couldn't speak for words. I think that's some of the greatest football plays I've probably ever seen in my life. So appreciate you. Jay Larson, I'm told I'm getting paid for a comment.
She's not getting paid.
I have no money.
I hate to break it to her.
I'm so sorry.
Not paid. Wait, which one of you guys promised her that?
I do not know Jay Larson. I apologize to you.
Look, I'm not sending out the link. I'm not tweeting out the link no more, because literally it's just none but trolls, man.
Somebody else is also here, so they do not get fined.
Troll.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
I will say real quick before we wrap, the whole thing with the Rams coming to us, like, dude, Michael Bidwell, the brown noser, bro, sitting with Roger Goodell, trying to look like the hero, bro. Like,
yeah, no,
that was so lame. Like, it was a
super
nice
lame
for sure, bro. But like, and I obviously, dude, like the LA Fires are super, super sad, disastrous.
Yeah, definitely.
Feel terrible, obviously, about that. But dude, there's plenty other stadiums. Dude, they're hosting the Super Bowl at San Fran Stadium next year. Like, I feel like that could have been a fine venue. Like, why did they have to come to us? Like, dude, they could have gone to the Chargers' old stadium in San Diego. Like, there was no reason that they needed to come here. But Michael Bidwell, bro, sniffing for a paycheck. Like, dude, I actually knew a guy I work with went to the game because he has, like, his father-in-law, I guess, is a big Vikings fan. So they went to the game, and he was saying how, like, they were limited on booze and stuff because they had already cleared out the stadium. I'm just like, dude, leave it to Bidwell, dude, to try to fly all this stuff in and make a quick buck, dude, and act like the hero. It's just,
yeah, bending over backwards for the NFL.
Dude, he went so overboard too. Like, dude, they didn't have to cover up our logos and stuff, but he did do it. And of course, bro, he just has to be that guy to make a huge deal about loving the Rams, dude. And I will say, bro, like I said, nice gesture. Sure, I'm not discounting anything that happened there, but dude, that was like a loser franchise move.
Yeah, as a fan, you're just a slap in the face as a fan. As a person that's not out there, it's a slap in the face.
Bro, imagine if that happened here and we went to the Rams stadium or the Niners or the Seahawks, dude, and won a playoff game. Like, it's just like, dude, I would be laughing at them. I would like that's the ultimate. Dude, they have like the ultimate troll against us now. Like, they can use that for anything, bro. What a playoff game in your stadium more recently.
Before we did, exactly, 1,000%.
As the home team too, bro. It's like that's great, bro. That's like a loser.
I mean, it definitely would have never happened like on the East Coast, like you not seeing Philly opening up their stadium for
way
the Commanders.
For Dallas, dude.
But
no way, bro.
Yeah, no, but I seen a comment somebody said on Twitter because there was a picture of Bidwill and Goodell, and there was just like Bidwill is like, so this means we're a guaranteed lock for the playoffs next year, right?
I'm fine with that, bro. I mean, dude, maybe that will get our credit up with the NFL, dude. Maybe they'll be more.
Yeah, maybe.
Just
whatever
like,
works.
Just like I said, just as a fan, just like, are we serious right now? I know you see the social team. Football is family with the little heart.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. We're not with none of that at all, bro.
Dude,
football is not family. Football is a physical, violent rivalry sport, especially for a rival team. Like, we're talking about a team in your own division. A team in your own division? Why couldn't the Saints host this game?
Crazy.
Right, okay. All right.
Dude, I hate the Rams. Like, the Rams might be my most hated. I mean, Seattle might have taken it back as my most hated team, but like, dude, it's LA and Seattle. Like, like that hurt, bro. How much did he charge?
Hopefully $10,000.
Dude, way more, bro. Those casinos
or $20,000. I don't know how much it costs.
Dude, they're like $100,000, dude. They're so unreasonably priced. It's actually insane.
Oh, okay.
Reggie doesn't get it. Reggie doesn't get it. This would be like,
dude,
let me explain it. Let me explain it for him in terms that he can understand. This would be like if LSU didn't make the playoffs, but they hosted Alabama at their playoffs because Alabama had some type of hurricane or something come and hit them, and they had to play, and they could only play at LSU. It would never happen.
They won the game.
Never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like I said, I feel terrible about the Fires and everything, but there was many other options for them to play instead of a division rival, bro. It's like,
yeah,
dude, they just beat us and ended our season. Or I guess it was already over, but like they just beat us, dude, and rubbed salt in the wound a few weeks ago. And like we're like, oh yeah, we love this team, like yada yada. Dude, it was.
I mean, they were in our locker room. Matt Stafford was using Kyler Murray's. Matt Stafford was using Kyler Murray's locker.
They literally probably told Bidwill was like, "Hey man, you ain't had some playoff money in some years, so come on."
Let me. No, I'm a.
Dude,
I'm a
Bidwill was
fan.
probably like me. Like pick me out. I want to host it. Like I want to be relevant.
Going to NOLA, you think? Yeah. Okay, he says that going to NOLA is insane. It's a dome. It's nobody playing there. Don't think it was that insane in my opinion. There's nobody playing there.
It's a neutral site,
dude. I just said too. They could have gone to San Diego and played in the Chargers old stadium. Like
there you go. There you go.
They could have gone
anywhere else. Anywhere else but our stadium.
Brand, dude, in state. They could have used one of the college stadiums out there, bro. But of course, Bidwell had to have it. He had to have it.
Yeah, he probably offered. He probably was just like, yeah, come on, like y'all can come play in here. Like,
he was probably begging for it, dude, for some good publicity because he's had his fair share of shit, dude.
I'm a fan of football fiction. I love Friday Night Lights. I remember Friday Night Lights. I remember the Dillon Panthers got hit up with some storm, took out their entire stadium. They built a football field.
Yeah.
On a farm.
Dude.
Go build a football field.
Not to mention Blue Mountain State had to do the same thing years back. They had to clear out a cornfield, and I think it actually ended up being a wheat field or something though, because they
Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bishop Sycamore didn't have no football field. They just had to make a way. They found one.
You know, the Rams just won a Super Bowl. They got money. They're gonna make a way. Find a way. How do you guys feel about the pitch clock?
It's time for us to hang it up.
Yeah.
Well, it was a fun season.
Does anyone know Jade Larson, bro?
Bro, I'm sorry. I apologize for all the trolls today. This is all me. I'll take full credit. I'll take full credit for all the trolls.
The pitch clock is a wild wrench. I like it. I'll just say that.
Well, you know, it was a very eventful season. The Cardinals they kind of they took us for a wild ride, kind of how this chat is going tonight. But overall, it was a fun season still with my guys. You know, we completed our second full season going on here. So, you know, props to us, I should say. You know, we obviously went to that game, New England Patriots game for a victory. So good to make memories there. Hopefully we can make some more memories, winning memories, consistent winning memories with this team. And, you know, just overall growing this fandom and, you know, growing some respect in terms of the NFL and not being a team to host people when they can't play in their own stadium.
Yeah, we'll have to scout out the schedule next year and figure out a game because we are undefeated as a trio.
Sure.
For sure.
If I can go to every game, I would. Just don't have money like that yet. Appreciate y'all, obviously, and we will catch you. Like I said, probably catch you all probably a couple weeks removed, maybe a week or two after the Super Bowl, depending on how that goes, and get ready for this free agency, who this team could be looking at, draft prospects that we could looking at. Maybe we could talk about a trade that happens before that. So we will catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all. We will see you.
All right, sounds good. See you boys soon.
Peace, y'all.